guys, what's up? It's Kemray and you're watching Kemray Music TV, and I'm back with another Insecure review. So this is season 3 episode number 3. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel, like this video, that means thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, and share with all your friends on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, text message, all of that. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the preliminaries out the way, let's get into this video. Okay, so Issa has made it to the bed. And Issa has some bad habits in her sleep. She has snacks and crumbs up under her pillow. Now, she's sharing a bed with Daniel, who's been so nice enough to let her share this bed. But she got Cheetos under the pillow and switching the pillow with his because she wants the good pillow. I mean, she is comfortable, okay? This is taking it to a whole new level. You can see the way that she's looking at him and these fantasies that she's having, that she wants to take it to the next level, but something won't let her do it. I don't appreciate the way Issa had these Cheetos in this bed. Now, if I'm splitting my bed with you, and I'm already letting you stay here rent-free, I'm not getting anything from you. I'm not getting no money, I'm not getting no play, like nothing. I'm clearly just being a friend to a friend, extending, patience, kindness, love, all that Kirk Franklin said. And you got crumbs in my bed that could bring roaches? No, ma'am. Instead of getting it popping with Daniel, Issa snaps into it and she goes on to work. And thank God, because I don't need them to take it here, but we see later on that they do take it there just about. So Molly is starting at her new job. Now this is the, as AfterBuzz TV called it, the Wakanda law firm. And that just means that everyone's black. I haven't seen one white person yet. So as she's walking in, I'm getting a feel like, is Molly gonna be able to flourish in this setting? And it's sad that I think that, but I'm like, a lot of times when you're in a setting where you look like everyone else, they kind of already have their standards there, and people don't tend to exceed them, and you got to do a lot to become the spotlight or do a lot to get recognition. I could be wrong, but let me know. So she's walking around, she's slowly learning all the isms of the new place. But as Molly's learning the new place, as she's getting accustomed in her first work week, she's growing very annoyed and frustrated because she doesn't understand if they have all these isms because they're the black law firm and they just cutting corners, or they have all these isms because they're just a new law firm. a new law firm. So what was annoying me was when she kept saying my old law firm and my old law firm and my old job. It kind of reminded me of, y'all know I'm in the military, and we have people who come to a new base and they say, at my old base, well, at my old base we used to do this. Well, that's not the way my old base did it. Actually, what I learned at my old base, it gets annoying, and it's like, well, you're here now. Use what you learned at your old base. Don't bring it up again. Use what you learned at your old job, maybe to make some new updates, but also learn the isms, learn the way of the office before you become so vocal about what you used to do at the old place, because you left for a reason, right? I skipped a part. So Molly took Flavor Flav to get a massage and a blueberry facial and all this stuff, and Issa lets it slip out that she and Daniel are sharing a bed, and Molly hit her with that, girl no, and we all have those friends that we grow frustrated with. I've been the friend that have frustrated other friends because you see them going down the wrong path, but everybody has a story, everybody has to learn, and sometimes it's not really the wrong path. A lot of people hook up or end up together, not hook up, but end up together on a whole different way that, that wouldn't have worked for somebody else. So, Molly's like, girl, no. She knows all the history with Daniel. She knows how they ended up together. She knows why they keep falling in and out, in and out. So she's like, girl, no. But is Issa listening? No. Daniel's at Khalil's house because remember, he swallowed his pride and he called him for help. Now, this, I can identify with it a little bit because I am a creative. When you have work, when you've worked hard on something, you don't like too much criticism. You don't like people taking away the meat of it or the part that is your signature. So Daniel is saying, he likes the musicality of it. He likes the melody to come out more than the bass, and he likes the instrumentation of the strings and all that. Khalil says that he knows Spider. So he knows that Spider will like the bass. He'll like the more, the meat of it more rather than pushing out the melody. So you can see on Daniel's face that he is offended. I'm like, Daniel, you have a real problem with your ego. But it is, that is men in our community. Men in our community have a real problem with being sensitive and, you know, well, actually not being sensitive, being in touch with their feelings and allowing help to come, putting their ego down. So you kind of see that Daniel's about to mess this up, and he does later on. We'll just go ahead and skip on to that part because it was kind of quick. But basically, Daniel plays his version for Spider, and Spider likes it a lot. But then Khalil's like, yo, where's the one that we worked on? Play that version. And Daniel plays it reluctantly, and Spider likes both. So Khalil kind of just brushes him off to the side. Now, I feel like Khalil got you this connect with Spider. Khalil knows Spider. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get where you wanna go. I say this all the time. Now, he's not saying that your work was wrong, that it was bad. He's saying that for this artist, this is what caters to him. So why don't we just switch it up for him, and then you'll be on the team. And then, you know, more stuff that you do, we can start to incorporate more of that. You gotta get your foot in the door. And it's like Daniel has so much ego that he allowed that to preface whatever was going on, and now he got Khalil mad at him. He's not even gonna be able to apologize, because if you saw how he looked at Issa when she was like, why don't you apologize? It was just so much ego. And men, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's what messes you up, because you can allow yourself a little time to be in your feelings, but put it down, because you got to be able to resolve stuff past the ego, past the anger, past the sensitivity. Because if you're not able to do that, you will get nowhere. And we see that with Daniel, and he screwed up another opportunity because of his ego. So Frida and Issa are at a job fair. Remember, they're recruiting because they want a more inclusive staff. But Frida's saying, you know, it's wrong to seek out all black people, but they know what they're there to do. They're there to get some more diversity, more black people, because that's who they service. That's the market that they service. So while they're there, Issa sees a different after-school program, or a different program. I think it's called The Beat, something with The Beat. And these kids are dressed, they have faces like Dia de los Muertos, but they're doing like a marching band type feel, and it's hip hop, and it's cultured, and they're smiling, they're having fun. And you can tell Issa's like, her passion is like revived, it's awoken. And when I was watching this, I felt hurt. We realized that she's been working for We Got Y'all for 5 years. So at this time, usually if you ain't got a promotion, it's kind of time to be moving on, because your fulfillment, whatever it is that you dreamed of doing, whatever that your passion is, you're at a crossroad. Are you doing it? Are you even close to doing it? How can you get there? Otherwise, you're just in a job, just going through the motions. And that's really what Issa's doing, because Frida's bringing up all this research that she's done. She's excited. She's real pumped up about these people in line. But Issa's just not. Issa's just like, just there. And it was cool to see her passion revived. Y'all know I'm about to move to Houston, and I'm about to get out the military, and it's the scariest thing in the world. But you're like seeking your passion. You know, you're thankful for your road, your journey, but it's like on to the next thing, on to getting things started. So it's a hard thing to do, but it's so fulfilling. Just watching her face light up like that just made me feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait. But yeah, so Issa, we see that she's on The Beat, or whatever the name of the crew is. She's on that website later on at work, you know, trying to sneak, thinking about applying. I'm like, girl, just do it. Come on, just do it. And Issa's going through a lot of change. Now, I was watching It's Rock's video, and she was saying that this episode, or this season, feels different. I know that I've heard that there's many different directors for each episode. That might be why, but I also feel like it is, this season is about adulting, right? That's what they said when they were doing the promos. But adulting in your late 20s, early 30s is about transitions. It's about those uncomfortable changes. It's about, you know, you've gotten your degree, you went to school, but things aren't really, it's like that in-between period. It's confusing, it's fulfilling, it's not. You're broke, you're trying to save, you're like broke because all your bills are paid, but you still ain't got no money. Like, I just feel like, Rox, it is like this season is your 20s, your late 20s. It's like everybody's looking for stability and nobody knows where it's at. So I feel what you're saying, because Issa is so frustrating this season so far. But we see that she takes that property manager job, which is only part-time. But if you see the place, like the place is like normal $1,600, but her rent's only gonna be $700. So I'm just like, girl, like, she takes a job, it's part-time, but Daniel's kind of making her feel bad because he's like, how you gonna lift? Do we got y'all and be a property manager on call? Like, girl, you doing a whole lot. You could just stay with me, but we know why he doing that. I'm skipping around. But I was proud of Issa for claiming her independence, which is why I joined the military, to claim my independence. But at the same time, it's like, you got so much on your plate, girl. Are you really gonna be able to do this? One thing I wanted to point out was when Molly was asking for a DigiSign or digital sign on her computer. It was just another testament of her being used to certain things at her old job. But when her assistant said, you know, we have a courier that comes around, his name is Rashad, sometimes he's late, it was just like, is this gonna open the door to a lot of isms that we don't like about Black-owned businesses? I really hope not. Because everybody's cool with Rashad showing up at 5:30 even though he's supposed to come at 5. So does that mean that they have a poor reputation because of how they handle things? Or are they still able to maintain a great reputation with their clients? I don't know, we gonna see. But I foresee Molly seeing this as an issue. One thing that I was tweeting about was she thought the grass was going to be greener because, you know, she's talking about the shea butter dispenser when they all went out on their girls' night. But it seems like this is maybe not worse. It's just taking her some time to get used to it, because she is, like Issa said, being very judgmental of her own people. It's like we hold our people to a different standard. We don't want them to mess up. I know I was thinking about this. I'm gonna connect this with when Issa and Frida were interviewing the new hire. She was a Black girl, and when they got alone, they were talking about, you know, the girl was trying to get like the feel for Issa's perspective, like, well, no, how do you like it? How are they like with us? And, you know, Issa was like, well, you know, they are how they are. And I resonated with that because I do that with new airmen that come. If they're Black and if they're Black females, I always feel like I gotta give it to them straight more. I gotta make sure they own it more, because I don't want them to be out here looking crazy. Now, I don't think it's just like looking out for us, because sometimes it sounds bad, but sometimes you know, when it comes to regulations with our hair, with our nails, or with our attitude, we have a reputation already. So when you first come in, I like to say, you know, this is the reg. It's not about how you feel about it or what your opinion about it. This is what it says. This is how I'm able to maneuver around it. You know, if it says something about our nails, I try to get our skin tone. This is what I get. This is where I go. If it says something about your hair, it might be kind of vague. You know, make sure it's still professional. You don't have to straighten it every day. You don't have to get a wig or a weave, but, you know, make sure it still looks professional. This is some stuff that I feel like we do when we get with each other. When Molly was at her law firm, I can't remember the girl, but she was like a loudmouth girl who had got hired, and Molly tried to do this with her, kind of pull her aside and let her know, like, hey, you might want to draw back. She didn't really take too kindly to it, so I guess it's hit or miss sometimes, but I do feel like we do that. When we see each other, we're like, hey, you know, this is how it is, or hey, this is how it is, you know, stuff like that. So watching Issa with the new hire, I think she kind of saw herself in her. The new hire was like, you've been here 5 years, so maybe you must enjoy it. And Issa was just like, like, it was like a out-of-body experience, because she realized she don't love it. She don't know why she's still here, because it's comfortable. That's why. So Issa and Daniel go out to eat. Issa is celebrating her new job and thanking Daniel at the same time. They're having this romantic dinner, and this is when I get more evidence that Issa is leading Daniel on. All of this behavior is only like feeding Daniel's appetite and desire to be with her. And this is what's so annoying about Issa this season so far, is she's like the perfect girlfriend. Very supportive, you know, listens to him, in tune with his passions, in tune with who he is, you know, funny, all this stuff. but she just won't give in. Now, I don't think her and Daniel need to be together. I really don't. I don't think she should have ever gotten that bed. She could have got herself an air mattress, to be honest, which is not that expensive. But it's like she's playing with it. Remember last season when she said, "You're just the itch that I wanted to scratch"? Like, it's like she's playing with it because she knows that he's gonna be there, which she already said that. But she's like taking it to that extra level. So even in the very end, when, you know, he says something to hurt her feelings and then they end up doing whatever they're doing, we realize it's not a fantasy, and then she stops him. I get so annoyed with people like that because you brought all this on. He felt comfortable enough to approach you because you opened the door for it. You didn't have to open the door. You could have stopped it from there. You could have, when you realized how close y'all were getting at dinner or how you felt in that bed. I was surprised. Actually, I was surprised to see her in that bed because they had their little argument. I would have took it onto the couch. Like, Issa, you frustrated me this season. I will say that. Molly, I'm praying that you learn the isms of your job before you start changing everything, because you saw how they mocked her in that boardroom. And it was just really weird to see all black people at an establishment on the screen and they weren't behaving rambunctiously or ratchet or ghetto. I mean, it was refreshing to see. It was good to see. Another thing, this is a really small thing, but on their little girls' night, Tiffany's starting to feel left out because, you know, she's pregnant, so she don't get to go everywhere that they go. They have a separate group message, and this is true for all girl cliques or whatever. I have, since I'm in the military, I had like a lot of single friends, but then, you know, then I have the married friends and I have the pregnant friends, and you don't want to invite the pregnant friends out, but then you start realizing that's all that you do is go out and drink and do stuff that pregnant people can't do. So you try to do more stuff to incorporate your pregnant friends, but Tiffany's starting to feel left out. So I was just laughing because I never thought about it. I don't have any kids, so if I want to go out for a drink, I'll get my girls that can go drink. And so I just never thought about it. But this is gonna be a long road for Tiffany because 9 months plus the 6 weeks or extra 3 months when you're breastfeeding, and then like it's gonna be a long road for her. It's a whole year no drinks. Y'all saw her sipping on her water. So we see that Issa does move into the place. Maybe the raps are gonna start to come back. She spends a moment in the mirror in her new place when she's doing the little walkthrough, and we see like maybe Issa's finally gonna get back to Issa because, you know, I think this season is just showing that when you go through a breakup in your life, it pretty much comes to a halt. Like you mess up on your job, you know, your credit is low, you get out of a relationship with someone you were with for 5 years. So really, if you think about it, she got with him right when she got that job. So she got rid of Lawrence. Maybe it's time to get rid of the job. Maybe it's time to move on. You learn what you learned, move on. So especially how she ended things, she didn't really get any closure. She don't really know much about herself. She's learning herself. So this is good for us women to see at this age, because it's like we have to learn how to just, like I've been saying, be without anyone else around. You don't have to be alone or lonely, but be just by yourself and learn things about you. I don't know why it's so hard, but a lot of us, we learn it so late in life, or we don't learn it till we got 3 kids we got to worry about, and we're wishing and praying that we had the self in a long time. So I'm just saying, learn yourself. There's no rush at all. So that's the end of my review. I'm Camray and this is Camray Music TV. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this review recap. Subscribe to my channel down below and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Camray Music TV. Comment down below on what you thought about this week's episode, season 3, episode 3, Familiar Like. If you guys don't already, tune into the Wind Downs on the HBO YouTube channel and AfterBuzz TV. They do real in-depth reviews. Oh, and Insecurity with Crystal and Fran. I listen and watch all of them. I also love It's Rocks. I love Funky Dineva, and I love Bondi Blue. So it's a mouthful. I'll see you guys in the next video, and that is Love and Hip Hop Hollywood tonight. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.